Right, okay, this should be okay.
The wounds left behind in Vietnam after the war are beyond horrifying, and they still are to this day. Between millions of Vietnamese exposed to the chemical ill that is Agent Orange, and large swaths of forest destroyed by wartime foliants, and even larger areas lost to post-war logging, the damage was and still is far extensive. The foliants destroyed 7,700. The foliants destroyed 77. Fuck me.
Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, this was a fucking rambling mess. Why are there so many mosquitoes here?
Jesus Christ, I don't know.
I know we're in the middle of the fucking jungle, but Jesus Christ, this is too many mosquitoes, even for here. Okay, from the top.
From the top.
Stay still with that camera. Power through the mosquitoes. If I can do it, so can you.
Yeah, I'll try.
Be professional. The wounds left behind in Vietnam after the war were horrifying.
Sorry. Jesus. Should we change position to over there maybe? Let's maybe see if over there we can have a...
I don't think that amateur journalist reporters wanna be, then it makes sense to be a bit alternative. What do you think about the story there in the video? Are we risking here? Are we playing with fire?
I don't know. I mean, everything's been lining up so far from what we've been researching, especially what I saw last night as well. It's kind of scary, to tell you the truth. So, I mean,
Yeah,
we're kind of risking ourselves here. If this is really
a
true.
month ago we were investigating aliens, so
I know, but this is a bit different. We could potentially be putting our lives at risk here, if you know what I mean.
yeah, I don't
US
think the government really likes stuff being exposed, huh?
Yeah.
There's a big dream catcher over there.
Could make four.
Here?
Okay, here. Let's go.
Yeah,
Jesus
let's
Christ,
hurry it
it's,
up before
it's
they
nasty.
completely eat us alive. Okay. Agent Orange is... Jeez. Agent Orange is a chemical that was used to flush North Vietnamese... Jesus. Agent... Can I just do the service like this?
I wish. But
What the fuck is that?
holy
No,
shit.
that is too much.
Okay,
That
run,
is too
run,
much.
run,
No,
run, 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 run.
no. Oh, what the fuck was that?
A whole fucking ton of them.
No, that's not normal. That can be natural.
Jesus
There's
Christ.
something wrong here.
I don't know.
think
In
it's-
general, I didn't see any other animals outside of us. Any birds that came remotely close to that area would
There's
just
only
go
mosquitoes
away.
everywhere.
Yeah, mosquitoes. That's it. I've seen nothing else.
This isn't normal. I don't think we should
don't
stay
know.
here. This
I don't know what's
isn't
going
worth
on
it.
here, but something is off. Something is really off here.
Look, there's more.
Shit. Oh shit. Go. Go, go, go! This footage was recovered from a group of freelance journalists shortly after the discovery of SCP-2350 in Vietnam. Classy amnestics were administered. SCP-2350 is a weaponized memetic agent transmitted by a sound that manifests as the idea of a swarm of mosquitoes. Human beings that hear SCP-2350 will perceive the swarm as attacking them, though deaf humans are unaffected. For every 12 seconds that SCP-2350 is audible, the perceived size of the swarm will double. Humans affected by SCP-2350 will suffer from rashes and other inflammatory responses consistent with mosquito bites. Affected humans may also develop symptoms consistent with mosquito-borne diseases such as malaria. In several cases, patients developed a combination of symptoms not associated with any specific disease, but with mosquito-borne diseases in general. SCP-2350 was developed by the United States as a weapon for area denial and saw extensive use in the Korean and Vietnam Wars. The sound was stored on magnetic tape inside a mortar or bomb shell, which was then launched at a target area. Upon landing, the mortar would play SCP-2350 until its power supply died. As merely being near these areas would result in infection by the beam, thousands of Vietnamese civilians were killed or driven from their homes. SCP-2350-1 refers to a phenomenon affecting sporadic areas of the Vietnamese jungle wherein SCP-2350 is produced without an apparent source. It is suspected that SCP-2350-1 resulted from protracted usage of SCP-2350. Affected areas are entirely devoid of fauna. The native wildlife appear to avoid these areas by instinct, while non-native animals introduced to the area immediately flee. History of SCP-2350. Historical records of the American Security Containment Initiative indicate that SCP-2350 is descended from a memetic weapon used by Spain in the Spanish-American War, based on an Aztec prayer to Malinalxuchitl, the Aztec goddess of snakes, scorpions, and insects. The efficacy of the Spanish weapon was limited by the primitive state of European memetics. The carrier sound had to be made by a handheld noisemaker, did not cause any physical effects, and affected both Spanish and Americans. As such, the weapon did not contribute in any meaningful way to the Spanish war effort, and research on the weapon was relinquished to the United States as part of the Treaty of Paris in 1898. Records collected by Soviet intelligence indicate that the United States attempted to refine the weapon for use in both world wars by developing an inoculation against the beam for use by Allied forces. The necessary breakthroughs to develop memetic inoculations were not arrived at until 1947. As such, SCP-2350 did not see any usage in either World War. Pentagram research records acquired by the Foundation indicate that the first inoculation for the weapon was developed in early 1950, enabling its first deployment via naval shelling at the Battle of Incheon. The weapon would see further use as a tool to deny enemy supply lines and hold major choke points during the Korean War. It is suspected that several canisters of the weapon were breached at the Battle of Unsan to cover the retreat of American forces. Recovered Chinese records of the battle make repeated reference to large swarms of mosquitoes abruptly materializing at crossing points along the Yalu River and attacking all Chinese forces that attempted to pursue the Americans. The form of the weapon classified as SCP-2350 was developed by the Special Operations Division of the United States Chemical Corps and deployed en masse during the Vietnam War under the codename Agent Black. In addition to having an increased swarm growth rate, the weapon was able to induce physical injuries in its victims. At some point prior to 1961, SCP-2350-1 began to manifest in Vietnam. The American inoculation was ineffective against this form of SCP-2350, enabling it to attack both communist and anti-communist forces indiscriminately. The United States attempted to curtail the spread of SCP-2350-1 through the herbicidal warfare campaign Operation Ranch Hand. Although this attempt was partially successful, it had the added effect of defoliating huge portions of otherwise unaffected jungle and displacing thousands more Vietnamese civilians. As of 2005, the United States has not acknowledged the existence of SCP-2350 and has repeatedly rebuffed attempts by the Foundation to gain access to its historical anomalous archives through traditional channels. The Foundation is currently attempting to negotiate with the United States of America for the release of certain classified files within their archives. If necessary, political pressure may be placed on the USA to achieve this end. As of 2005, the United States has not... God... The American inoculation was ineffective against this... The American inoculation was ineffective against this form of SCP-2350, enabling... I can't read anymore. As of 2005, the United States has not acknowledged the existence of SCP-2350 and has repeatedly rebuffed attempts by the Foundation to gain access to its historical anomalous archives through traditional channels. Jesus.